Hello, everyone, and welcome to an hour you'll never get back with me, Kris, my cousin Travis.
What's up?
We haven't done one of these in like a week or two. I think it's been about 2 weeks.
I'm not exactly sure how long it's been, but
I think it's been about 2 weeks roundabout. We try to do them every week, but sometimes things happen. So
life happens.
Yeah. Life happens. So just one of those things. But how are you doing today, Trav?
I'm okay. Just like we said, life happens. And we struggle with some stuff, and that's why we had to postpone the podcast for a little bit, but things are on the right track. And just a heads up, we're recording this at my place. There's a dog here. There's my girlfriend. There's the in-laws upstairs with their dog and cats. So the laundry's on. So there's a lot of noise. So I apologize
if we pick something else up that's not us. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So
yeah,
just deal with it. That's all I have to say. Deal with it. Yeah, I really enjoy doing this podcast, like just sitting down for an hour and just kind of, like bullshitting around, that kind of thing.
Totally.
It can definitely improve like my mood in particular. I don't know if it does the same for you that it does for me, but
well, I think at least I already knew that it was going to help with mood and stuff like that, and it gives us something to do every week, right?
100%. And again, I was trying to get you to do it with me last week, but like timing also just didn't work out, things like that.
Yeah.
But because I know that just even just the fact, even if we weren't doing a podcast, just hanging out with somebody can really improve your mood and things like that. So
just not being idle, right? So you're not just sitting in a room thinking. Right?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem, is that sometimes I just, at least with how I deal with my stuff, I tend to isolate, and then the isolation makes it way worse, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like today, this morning, I was starting to get starting to have some issues, and I just went outside and helped my father-in-law just shovel and snowblow. Right? Yeah. Just do something. Feel useful.
Yeah.
Seems to help a lot.
It really does. It really does, because, depending on what you have, sometimes just, being able to feel useful can be enough to start helping your mood in its entirety.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And now I have to tell you a story.
Sure.
So I have a story from last night. So I was hanging out with my best friend last night. His name is Donovan. He's a great guy. Him and his brother Joe, we decided we wanted to go out and we wanted to eat some food.
Right.
So now it was around 8 p.m. when we when we decided to go out and do stuff.
Right.
Because I think that was around about when either Donovan got off work or when Joe got off work or whatever. Like, either way, we went out around 8 p.m. and we were like, okay, where do we want to eat? Donovan's like, Joe wants to go somewhere to sit down. And I'm like, okay, you guys have anywhere in mind? And they were like, yeah, maybe like Boston Pizza or like Pizza Hut. And we were like, okay, yeah, let's do Pizza Hut. So they get to Pizza Hut before me. And I'm just leaving my home. I'm just in my car. I just started driving. And I get a call. So I answer on my hands-free. And it's Donovan. And he says to me, so Pizza Hut's dine-in is closed. Their kitchen is open, but their dine-in is closed. And there's no reason for it. It's just their dine-in is closed. Which I didn't know was a thing. Maybe it's just because it's so close to Christmas or something. I don't know. But
could be like a residual policy from COVID or something.
Yeah, it could be that too.
You know what I mean?
So either way, their dining was closed. So we were like, okay, well, let's, do you guys want to do the backup? Go to like Boston Pizza. So there's a Boston Pizza relatively close to, where I live. And I was like, well, let's go to that one because it's closer to where you guys are from Pizza Hut, and it's closer to me, so we'll just meet there. So I get there first because, again, it's relatively close, especially because I was already driving when we were having this conversation. Mm-hmm. So I stop there, and like people are leaving Boston Pizza. Like there was a decent amount of cars when I was coming in, and by the time I actually pulled in, there was like 4 cars left. And I was like, oh, it got really dead really fast. So I pulled out my phone and I looked, and it's like, oh, Boston Pizza's open till 10 p.m. Oh, okay. So it just must mean that this was like a late dinner rush that they all got and everyone just left around the same time.
Okay.
So I got out of my car and I walk inside and I'm like, hey, can I get a table for 3? And the lady was like, oh, I'm sorry, we're closed. And I'm a bit confused. It's very visible on my face, I'm assuming. And I'm like, but you're like online, it says you guys are open till 10. And she's like, yeah, we had to close early. Didn't elaborate, didn't tell me why, just, oh no, we had to close early. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just was like, I walked back outside and I picked up my phone to call Donovan, but then I saw him rounding the corner. So I was just like, I'll just wait and I'll tell him when he gets here. So he like pulls up and I walk over to his car. He rolls down his window and I'm like, so Boston Pizza's closed. And all 3 of us roll our eyes, like, because of course, like, what the hell? So we're like, okay, we'll just go to Donovan's place and we'll order pizza in. We'll go from like Domino's.
Right.
That's what we were thinking. And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. So I get in my car, I follow them to their place. And to get to his place from where we were, we have to pass Domino's. Okay. And we pass Domino's, right? And it's closed. Domino's is closed. They're open to like 1 a.m. like every day.
Yeah.
Like 7 days a week.
Right.
365 days a year. Like they're open all
pizza place.
They're open all the time.
Yeah.
But they were closed. And it was, again, like 8 p.m. It was like 8:30 by, I think, by the time we drove by. And so we get to his place and we're like, okay, I guess we're not ordering from Domino's because Domino's was closed. And then, so we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do? And Joe's like, well, you know, Pizza Hut, we could order from them. Their kitchen was still open. We just couldn't eat there. So we can order from them instead. So we ended up ordering from them. But Donovan's place didn't have any drinks for us. Well, okay, this is a weird one. Joe had drinks, but he wasn't going to share them with Donovan and I. So Donovan and I had to go out and get drinks. And so
why wouldn't he share drinks with you guys?
I don't know. He said he had enough drinks for himself, didn't have enough for us. So we were like,
okay,
whatever.
Not being a bro about it.
But so we go out. We're like, okay, well, we could go to the corner store, but, you know, buying from the corner store, you know, is relatively expensive considering if you just go to like, you know, an actual store.
Yep.
So we were like, okay, we'll go to Save On Foods, right? Because it says that Save On Foods is open until 10.
Yeah.
Right. So it was 8:30. We drove over there. And yeah, it was open. But we were like, in case they're not, I mean, at least where we're going, there's like a Shoppers Drug Mart and there's some other places that we could go to. But Save-On happened to be open. So we bought our stuff from Save-On. We got back to the car. And as we're driving back, I passed those our other options.
Right.
And all of our other options were closed. So if Save-On hadn't have been open, we would have had no drinks. And I don't know.
Shoppers is usually open till 10.
Yeah, they're open till 10 there too. Like almost everything in that whole little strip mall is open.
The dollar store was, because that would have been your best option.
Everything was closed, dude.
Was this on a minus 50 day?
No, this was like, okay, this doesn't make sense to the listener, but like this was yesterday for like Trav and I. This was yesterday. It was like minus 20. Maybe at worst. I think by the time we left, it was like minus 15.
Right, yeah, because before that, we had a few spikes where it was like
minus 40 almost.
Which I know a lot of places were closing because their heaters broke.
Yes.
Because it couldn't handle I mean, it gets cold here.
It gets cold,
I don't remember it ever getting minus 50. On the one day.
No, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It was pretty consistently minus 40. And I had to work through that. That sucked.
Yeah.
Like I was starting my car like an hour before work, and I had to let it run for that whole hour and then start it multiple times during the day while it being plugged in at work. And, like, it was a whole ordeal, but that's a different story. But what I'm getting at here is just like yesterday, everything was closed for no reason. Like there was no reason for everything to be closed. I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe that, like, every place.
Friday?
Yesterday was Friday, yes.
So why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually Friday's a day where you stay open later.
Yeah, 100%. And also, like again, I know it's close to Christmas. So like there is a little bit of that in there. I know some things close early, but like everything said we're open until 10. Like all of their online stuff was like they're open till 10, whatever, right? Like if I was to look online right now, I could see, like, for instance, that the movie theater closes at 8 tonight. Right. So it's not like they were on their holiday hours. Just everybody was closed, and I don't know why. Like whether it be just like people not showing up for work or whatever. But that was my day yesterday. We still had good pizza afterwards, and we got our drinks and things, but, like, man, was it ever an ordeal to figure out what we were eating, where we were eating it, and where we were getting our drinks from. Like, I swear, it was just like an hour of driving around just to find out that this place is closed.
Yeah, I didn't really do much the last little while here, but on one of the days, it was either Wednesday or Thursday. I think Wednesday and Thursday were our coldest days. But Thursday, I think it was Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were all around about the same.
Minus 40, and then, like, with the wind chill? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, wind chill. It was with like 44.
Yeah, it got to minus 49 overnight, that's a 100-year record in our city, apparently. But anyways, we showed up at Ricky's up here.
Oh, yeah.
And we walk in, and it just smells like burnt. It was like hurting my throat. I was like, what the hell? And their heater just like gave out. It just like exploded.
Oh god.
Because it was so cold. Yeah. So the poor waitresses and everybody, the only people who were warm were the people in the kitchen because of the grills going.
Yeah, because of the grills, yeah.
The poor waitresses and all the people sitting inside had like huge coats on. And
yeah, as if they were outside. Yeah.
No, was so cold. Man, I don't think I've experienced
been that bad. Because, like, we've lived here, like, our whole lives.
Yeah.
And, like I've had it. It's been cold like that a few times, but, like, very rarely have we ever hit something like that. Like, generally, like, minus 30 is around where it, like, the worst that it gets.
I feel bad for the international students that came here this year.
Oh, yeah. That's
and their
bad.
first winter.
It happens to be, like, one of the worst winters that we've had.
Their first cold snow winters is like minus 40.
Yeah.
I'm not staying here. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I don't want to be here no more.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that's my that was my yesterday for everyone. That was what happened to me. And I just thought that was like a crazy story, a crazy set of like unbelievable coincidences of everything being closed when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Like when they said that they're open, but they're not. Like it was insane.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of hockey recently.
Yeah.
A lot of hockey. I've been watching the Canucks. I've been watching the Calgary Flames. Pretty much every game.
Yeah.
And that's been really nice for me. You don't really watch sports?
I don't really, but like if you invite me, I'll come watch them with you. You did invite me one day, but I just happened to be busy because I had my work Christmas party that day, which I drank way too much. Way too much.
What did you drink?
I had a ton of different things, and that was one of the problems.
Yeah.
We were mixing drinks.
Mix.
So like we had I think the
at
first
least
thing
you didn't mix marijuana with alcohol. Or pills with alcohol.
Actually, I think we did because some of my coworkers they smoke weed.
Yeah.
And they offered it around when we were all just like hanging out, and I definitely had some of that.
Oh man! Oh no!
But so like we started off, we had oh god, I don't think we started with cider. I think cider was the one that I picked.
Oh man!
But we started with like a nice cider. It was only like 6%. It was really, really nice.
What kind of cider? Was it Strongbow?
I don't remember,
Apple?
honestly. It was like an apple cider, I think.
Yeah.
But like I know we had a cider. We had Coke and rum, but it was double. It was a double.
Those are so good.
We had that, and then I'm trying to remember everything that we had. I honestly can't remember them all because I'm not generally a drinker.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say
this is like the most that I've been drinking ever, and like there was a lot. But also at like the work Christmas party, I won, and I should show you this at some point. But I have I have whiskey. I have Irish whiskey, and I got whiskey glasses and like the thing to make the like to freeze the water into the ice, the round.
Oh yeah.
To put in the whiskey glass.
Yeah.
I got that from the Christmas party, and I got a battery booster as well, which is really nice for my car because my car has problems with the winter. It doesn't like the cold. Like if I ever forgot to plug it in at anything worse than -10, like I probably won't. My car probably won't start.
It's an Acura, right?
Yeah, it's an Acura.
Yeah. I got a Santa Fe. I like my Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Especially like right now, like I was just like the streets weren't plowed earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And I just bombed up to my mom's. She's got a big hill that goes up there.
Your mom lives really close to me too. Like, I mean, we all live decently close together, all things considered. But like your mom, like from where I am, like if I could just cut across like my backyard, I could almost have like a straight shot to her place.
Well, it's funny, like I love my little Santa Fe, man. You got to switch to an SUV one day.
I'm definitely going to. That's
or
probably
at least
the next
CRV, something that has all-wheel drive.
I definitely will.
Like we've been pretty lucky this year. Like we haven't had like a ton of snowfalls.
No, but we're getting snow like the rest of this week.
Snowed like crazy.
We're supposed to get snow like the rest of this week, and in a couple days we might even get rain. It's getting so warm. Like we're getting into the positive temperatures again in December. And like but the thing is then right after that day where it gets really warm, it's gonna get really cold again. Not like super cold, not like what we just
enough
had,
to freeze it,
but enough to freeze the water from the rain and all the melting that's going to happen on the day before.
That's going to be a nightmare.
Oh my God. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like where life is at the moment. I mean,
yeah, we live in a hellscape of ice and snow right now.
Ice and snow, yeah.
And coldness.
Ice, snow,
although
coldness.
Today it's like -10 at the most.
It's -4 right now.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Like I walked here.
Yeah.
It was a decent walk. Again, the snow kind of sucked to walk through, but
totally.
Like all in all, it wasn't terrible. Like I wasn't freezing by the time I got here or anything. And it was about a 15-minute walk. Like it wasn't that bad. But I wanted to talk to you about a game that you had asked me a question about, I think, in our first episode, Dragon Age Origins.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk to you about that because I'm going to be playing that again. And I've played it a lot. I've just never finished it.
Right.
And I wanted to know, did you ever finish that game? Or
no.
anything? Excuse me.
Welcome to the Sneeze Cast.
Yeah.
I've never finished that game. How long is that game?
I think
as far as hours go, like general average, like 60.
I think it depends because there's a lot of like side quests and things and like stuff you can do to level your character, DLC, like that type of thing. So I don't know off the top of my head how long it is. I'm gonna take a guess and say it's like 20 hours, maybe a bit more than that. Like,
I'm gonna look it up.
Like maybe 26. Like without
40
DLC.
Hours.
40 hours. Okay, so it's more than that.
And that's if you're an avid gamer.
So that's if you're like rushing through things.
If you're rushing through. And if you're a gamer that strives to see all aspects, you're looking at around 90 hours. If you want to complete 100% completion is about 90 hours, which honestly, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And I mean, I really like Origins because one, you can pick whatever race you want to be. Each race has their own kind of thing going for them and things going against them. You can have multiple different, like you have 3 different classes, you've got the warrior, the mage, the rogue, and the warrior and the rogue are inherently fully different classes. Like they don't really share anything, which is really nice. They don't feel like the same class copy pasted with a few changes here and there. They are fully different.
Right.
And I like that. I think that's a really neat thing to have. I think the mage background, like mages in Dragon Age Origins are OP because they're like healing worked differently in that game than it did in any future Dragon Age game, because it was an actual spell that you could cast, and you could also cast like a revive spell. It was very D&D for Origins.
Yeah, totally.
Where they kind of change it for future games, which I don't think is inherently wrong, but like, I don't know, they definitely got rid of a lot of stuff in future games. But Origins has a lot of stuff for each class. I think personally Mage is probably the best thing to make your main character, and then have, you know, like a warrior as your side character or something. But other people have different ideas, because I know some people that are just like, the warrior is the way to go, because then you can learn how to be a Templar and things like that, and get anti-magic.
That's me. I really like the Templar build in that game. Like, once you enter that town, I can't remember, but I remember entering the town.
I think Alistair teaches you.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because you do a bunch of quests for Alistair there.
Well, because you help Alistair out, you become more friends with him, and then he might teach you those ways. But I also think you can learn from the Templars. What was the town that was being overrun by like the dark spawn or whatever, and then you like it was all coming from the castle? That's oh my god, Redcliffe, I think is what it's called, because it's Castle Redcliffe that you go to, because you need to find the Earl, because the Earl will help Alistair.
Yeah.
Because Alistair actually is now that, because like in Origins, spoilers for this really old game, like the king of Ferelden dies fighting the Darkspawn, because Tyrion Loghain, I think his name is, he abandons the king.
I don't know how you remember any of this.
I like this game a lot, so I remember some of it. I don't remember all of it, but I know that he like abandons the Grey Wardens and the king and his force, like his small forces,
right?
And lets the Darkspawn win that battle, and then kind of takes over ruling, because there's no king at the moment. But Alistair, because he's the bastard son of the king of Ferelden's like dad, because like he's the bastard son, he's actually in line for the throne now that there's nobody else. And I'm pretty sure by like the end of the game, Alistair becomes the king of Ferelden and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And like you can see him in like Dragon Age 2 or something like that as well.
Dragon Age 2 was a weird game.
Dragon Age 2 is a game without roleplay. It's a role-playing game with no role to play. You don't.
It's an action-adventure game.
Yeah.
More than it is a strategy RPG.
Well, because think about this, right? In Dragon Age Origins, you can make your character, and then after you've made your character, then you start seeing your character in cutscenes and things like that. But in Dragon Age, in Dragon Age 2, they don't do that. There's a cutscene first with your main character where they have a design for that character,
and you're in like a cell or something in the beginning, right?
No, you're fighting.
Aren't you in a prison?
No, you're fighting Darkspawn to get to this like city. I can't remember why, but you're fighting in this city, and or to get to this city, and you can see your character. So like BioWare, the creators of Dragon Age, have an idea in their head of what the main character should look like, and then after that, then you could change what he looks like and have him like look however you want. But by that point, the immersion is ruined, because it's just kind of like,
weird.
It's dumb. It was the dumbest thing they could have ever done, and I'm glad they fixed that in Inquisition.
Yeah.
But Inquisition, I just don't think was a super great game as a whole.
You know what game I was thinking of? And I was thinking of this game, thinking it was Dragon Age 2, was Two Worlds 2.
Two Worlds 2.
Did you remember Two Worlds?
Yeah, I do.
There's a bear in that cave. I better go slay it. That's literally, remember the voice acting?
God, that game was so bad.
It was as a role-playing game, though, it wasn't awful.
See, the thing
it was
is...
the voice acting and stuff that was just like... It was trash. It was like, oh, hello, adventurer. Please come with me into the tavern. Like, that's literally...
Yeah, as if it was recorded in 3 separate takes. It's like, hello, adventurer. Please come with me to the tavern.
Yeah, it was
like,
so bad. Like, I don't... They spent no money on the voice acting. There's no way. They probably just got random people in their families... Or just went like, hey, does anyone want to come voice act for a game?
I've heard a bridge series on like YouTube and things like that have better voice acting than some games that exist. Like,
I just loved the voice acting in Two Worlds. It was hilarious. And then Two Worlds 2 had better voice acting, but not like a lot better.
Yeah. And
the combat system was actually kind of fun.
So I have a thing that I would like to do with you. Because I know that you played these games when you were a kid as well, just like I did. Mm-hmm. But I've been wanting to play them again as an adult and talk about them more in depth. And that series is the Fallout series.
Mm-hmm. Love the Fallout series.
Because I know that... Because I think you like 3. Fallout 3? Is that the one that you liked?
I'd say 3's my favorite, and then Vegas right after that.
Yeah. So I'm the opposite. I love Vegas.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't hate 3. I think 3 is fantastic. I just think that Vegas is better.
Exists because of 3.
Vegas exists because of 3, but
that's right.
I think that Vegas is better than 3 in my opinion.
I think Vegas is a better, like, well-rounded game.
Yeah.
But the story of number 3 just hooked me so much.
I do remember that. But what I wanted to get into with that is, as I said, I wanted to start playing them again. And I'd love to start, like, even if we just do a thing on, like, when we're talking about them on the podcast,
mm-hmm.
where we talk about some of the stuff of, like, you know, the Fallout games or whatever, right? Or whatever games that we're playing at that moment. One, to give us a reason to play games, because I know that both of us are having trouble, you know, playing things because of just life and things like that. So it might just help give a reason to play something, but also just like the enjoyment of playing something that you enjoyed as a child and being able to properly enjoy everything that's in it. Because when we were younger, like, we might get a surface level enjoyment, but like there's a lot of stuff like dialogue with characters and like certain guns and mm-hmm. quests and things like that really hit harder when you can understand what's actually going on.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because the New Vegas was kind of like... I really like New Vegas. The storyline was a lot of fun because you could pick, what was it? It was 3 different factions?
It's more than that.
But like base game...
Well, so base game, so there's a couple different endings you can choose. You can go with the NCR. Mm-hmm. You can go with the Legion.
Right.
Caesar's Legion. You can go with Mr. House.
Right.
And then you can do your solo run, which is like where you're taking over instead of Mr. House. So instead of the Mr. House ending, you're doing what Mr. House was going to do with a robot named Yes Man. And
I remember that. Yeah.
You do. I think it's called like Independent Vegas, is I think what that one is called. But basically
Was Yes Man the one that wanted to get rid of House?
Yes and no. Like, he had to get rid of House to be put into power so that you could then control all the robots, like the security bots.
That's what I did.
Yeah. That one's really fun because then you get to decide what factions live and what factions die.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting. And I love that, like, Yes Man has he has like a response to like every single faction. So like the Brotherhood of Steel, for instance, they exist in New Vegas and they're more secluded and things than they were in like 3, where mm-hmm. they're like actively taking the fight to these super mutants. Like, you can, as Yes Man, you have to deal with them. You have to choose if you want to let them continue to survive or if you want to wipe them out.
Right.
And again, the game obviously wants you to wipe them out, because like if you do the Mr. House ending, which is the same ending, but just now you're doing it for House, mm-hmm. and full of House's plan, House wants you to get rid of them. And same with like Caesar's Legion.
Right.
But you can choose to not get rid of them. And then Yes Man says something like, yeah, I guess it makes sense to keep technology-hungry, crazy power armored freaks alive? 100%. Something like that. Like he says something like sarcastic, passive aggressive like that.
Totally.
And I love the yes man stuff with that. I think it's great. Do you remember in New Vegas, the White Glove Society? Do you remember that?
Are they the cannibals?
They are the cannibals.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do. They were in Vegas.
They were in, they were on the Strip.
I actually ended up getting a room there. Like a whole room to myself. Or I ended up killing someone there in it.
I'm pretty sure that's like their quest is like you can kill somebody in there to feed them for dinner. Like something like that. I can't remember 100%. I'd have to play
There
it
was
again.
like somebody's room, and then the room had like a back entrance, like a secret. I remember something about it, but yeah, I remember the White Glove Society.
Yeah, because like with the Yes Man ending, you have to deal with the White Glove Society, and again, you can kill them all, or you can let them live.
I mean, you gotta kill them. They're cannibals.
They're cannibals.
It's disgusting.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's inhumane.
But you can choose to let them live.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what he says to it, but again, I think like anytime you let somebody live, like he has some
let cannibals live.
something like that. I'm sure. But again, as I said, I remember that you liked Fallout 3.
I love that game. Yeah.
And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit too. Because again, I know that you will have some more knowledge on that as well. So now you were telling me about how the story of Fallout 3 really like captured your interest and things like that. And what about it made it so good to you is I guess my question.
I think the same thing that makes other games at that time so good for me, like Halo 3, it was my age, I think, right? Like I was just coming into becoming a teenager, being a teenager, and I think games just felt way different back then than they do now.
Yeah.
There was a lot more, what's the word for it? Like, I don't know what the word is, but games just felt different back then. They were I was able to focus on it for longer, right? I was able to dive into the game. I was able to immerse really well, which now I can't do that as much. So I think just the timing made the game really good for me.
Yeah.
The story was pretty it was simple too, right? It was like,
it's
you're a baby. And I also really like the growing up thing that happens.
Oh, like when you grow up in the vault. Yeah.
Yeah. You go from being born to being in your room with your dad, moving blocks, picking your attributes, then going to a birthday party afterwards, your birthday party.
Yeah.
Getting a Grognak the Barbarian magazine, which is in, I think, all 3 games.
It's in all the games. Grognak the Barbarian is a comic series.
It is
in the Fallout Fallout universe.
And then you're an adult and you break out of this prison, essentially, is what some people look at it as. Other people look at it as protection against the world.
The way that the overseer at the time was definitely going through it, it was definitely I would say it was probably more of a prison than anything.
Stay in your room or die.
He literally killed Jonas because Jonas knew your dad, and your dad left without telling anybody. So he killed Jonas.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's ridiculous.
Jonas was pretty cool, too.
Jonas was a good guy. He didn't deserve what happened.
Jonas is the one that brings you down after your birthday party with your dad to shoot the BB gun.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
that game is fantastic. And then the ending, your dad dies with his...
Well, he doesn't die in the ending. He dies way before the ending, technically.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he dies when the Enclave attacks. Because the Enclave attacks to take over what James was doing.
Water processing.
They want to take over that so they have control over it. Because the Enclave is like the remnants of the like U.S. government.
Right.
They're kind of like the Brotherhood of Steel,
Freedom.
except very patriotic, but also like evil patriots, I guess. Like
your dad was making a water processing plant,
and he was going to share it with everybody. He was going to clean all of the irradiated water, and then everyone would have clean water.
Right. And the government wanted to control it.
Yeah, they wanted to like sell it and things like that.
And then he dies in the chamber, though.
Yeah, because he overflows it with radiation.
Right.
And then at the end of the game,
he died to what he was trying to.
Well, you have to, like, in the base game, you have to, like, sacrifice yourself by going into the irradiated chamber and punching in the code and then dying the same way your dad did.
I can't even remember.
But you know what's really dumb about that? And I don't mean to ruin this, but and they talk about this in the DLC for Fallout 3 and the Brotherhood of Steel DLC. But you can get a companion, Fox, and he is a super mutant.
Yes, that's right.
And super mutants, I don't know if you know this or not,
are
immune to radiation. Yeah. So if you have him in the base game, you can ask him to go in, and he'll be like, "No, I cannot do this, for this is your destiny."
I do remember that, actually, because
like, what the fuck?
Because I think I even tried that. Yeah. I was like, I think I even tried that. Like, I think I saved before I went in.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw this. Went out, found him, and came back and did that. Yeah, no, I definitely remember it. But this is for you.
Yeah, this is for you. This is your destiny. You must do this. I will not take this from you. And you're like, excuse, you want me to die? Like,
I think the creepiest part of that game was like the dream thing where you're in the pod and you go into that virtual
with the doctor who's taking on the form of the little girl
and he's killing everyone. That was wild.
You know what's crazy about that is because you can spawn in because there's a failsafe in the system that causes like the Chinese soldiers to appear and kill everybody. And in doing that, it permanently kills those people because the doctor will constantly re-kill the people in the scenario, but they don't fully die. He can fix them and everything. But like when you kill them that way, it's a failsafe and they permanently die in their pods.
Right.
And then the doctor's left alone because he can't create artificial life that reacts the same way that like human life does.
Right.
So he gets really upset when you do it because it doesn't kill him. It just kills everybody else. Yeah. So then he's in that system alone.
Stuck
there forever. And I mean, it's well deserved, but also like it goes a bit far because you are killing a lot of innocent people that like you could have saved, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know.
Because there is a way to save them.
Well, no, they never leave. Even if you do it the good way where you technically follow the doctor's orders, like he just has fun with them. He makes you kill them all.
Yeah.
And then you get to leave and then he'll just continue.
Tiny terror or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever that was. But like they never get to leave.
Yeah.
They're in there forever. But you can just make him trapped in there alone, and I think that's poetic justice for what he's been doing. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good part, but that part is really fun because like I remember in the dream world there's a quest where it's like you need to make like little Timmy cry or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but there's multitude of ways to do that, from just like punching him in the face to telling him his parents are getting divorced because of him.
That's what I ended up doing, I think, which is totally messed up.
It's so bad. Because he's like, no! And he like cry. It's so sad.
Oops. All right. Well, it's been about 40 minutes.
Yep.
So I think we should probably move on to some trivia.
Some nice trivia?
Yeah, which we don't have the music for today.
Oh.
That's
not again.
Nah. It don't matter.
It don't matter. But
it don't matter.
I don't know if you remember this, but last episode I was the trivia stud.
That's right.
Which means for the first time since we started this podcast, I have to answer questions first.
Right.
Which is very interesting because that gives you a very unique advantage that you haven't got to experience yet.
It's going to be an interesting one this time.
Yeah, I'm wondering what your questions are going to be and how hard.
Last time was difficult.
My questions last time were difficult.
Just for me, though.
Just for you, yeah.
Yeah, which it happens. It's going to happen. It's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
It's what makes it interesting.
I'm staying to like kind of a common theme here.
Okay.
With my questions, right? Like, I've definitely asked things. My questions are related to my questions that I've had before.
Oh, okay. You're kind building on them.
Kind of the same theme.
Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, you're building.
Yeah. Are you ready then?
I am ready.
Okay. Number 1.
Yeah.
How old is SpongeBob in the show?
I think he's like 47.
Number 1. Or A, 25.
Yeah.
B, 15.
Yeah.
C, 14.
Yeah.
Or D, 22.
I'm positive he's older than this.
So he's no older than 25.
I guarantee you that he's older than this because I'm positive there is an episode where he is 47, but I'm gonna go 25 because I'm pretty sure it's 47 though, but I'm gonna have to look this up. But I'm gonna go 25.
I'll explain afterwards.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer, yeah.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
He's 14 years old.
No, he is not.
Yes.
There's a picture of his I will find this.
His driver's license is 1986.
Yeah.
The show came out in 2000, which means he's 14 years old throughout the show.
Yeah, but the show continued, and when that episode came out,
his age doesn't change.
But
the show.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. All right, that's fine. I mean, that's the question, but I'm positive that it's supposed to be older than that. I think that was the joke of.
Well, even if he gets older, he wouldn't have hit 47.
No,
even in 2022 this year, he wouldn't be 47.
No, you're right. I think he was like 42.
But the age doesn't change with the show because he's not having a birthday every season to increase his age.
Well, there actually is birthdays for SpongeBob in the show. He does actually age. But no, that's fine. I mean, I got that wrong. That sucks.
Are you ready for the second question?
Yeah.
Okay. When did the GameCube come out? 2001. B, 2002. C, 2000. Or D, 2004.
2004.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
That is incorrect.
What?
2001.
It was 2001?
Yeah.
Wow. I swear it was 2004 because like when you were reading the question, I was like in my head I was like it's 2004. I guarantee you. But maybe that was when I got my first GameCube, and that's why I think about that.
I definitely think that's probably what it is because I think I got my first GameCube around 2004 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2001, September 18th, something like that. September 14th, 2001.
Okay.
Are you ready for the third question?
Yep.
What is the most expensive video game ever made? A, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Most expensive.
B, Dragon Age Inquisition. C, Grand Theft Auto 5. Or D, Witcher 3.
The most expensive
to develop.
Well, I know in GTA 5, they like fully made like Los Santos. Like they fully made that, and they spent years building that. I know that it's probably made the most. I don't know if it costs the most. Let's do 50-50.
50-50. B, Dragon Age Inquisition. Or C, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay, it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
That is correct.
Yeah. All right. I was like, as long as it gets rid of Witcher 3, I was confident.
I wasn't gonna be too brutal with it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What position did the creator of the Game Boy have at Nintendo? Was it A, a janitor?
What?
B, a programmer? C, the CEO? Or D, an IT repair specialist?
Oh my god, how great would it be if it was the janitor, though? Like, the janitor just came up with the idea for the GameCube, or the Game Boy. That would be amazing! I have to guess it. It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be the janitor.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct. It was the janitor at Nintendo that came up with the idea for the Game Boy, which I had no idea. I just went online and looked up Nintendo trivia and facts.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently that's true.
That's awesome. I love that.
I hope they paid him well.
They better have paid that man. That man better be, like, rich.
They probably went, like, we'll give you $10,000 if you give us this idea. And he was probably like, okay. And then it went on to make billions.
Well, because now it's the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch was originally from, like, all the Game Boys and things.
It's an evolvement.
Yeah.
Or an evolution.
An evolution,
essentially.
Yeah.
Evolvement? What kind of word is that? Are you ready
Yeah.
for the fifth question?
Yes.
You still have
I still have
Skip
a skip and a
call a friend.
Yeah.
or phone a friend.
Phone a friend, yeah.
Number 5. What accent was Cortana from Halo supposed to have originally?
What?
A. A French accent.
Uh-huh.
B. An Australian accent.
Uh-huh.
C. A British accent. Or D. An Irish accent.
I think it's British. I think she was supposed to be British. That's what I'm going to go with. That's my final answer.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct. So you got
Like
3 out of 5 correct.
I got the last 3 questions right, and I missed the first 2, yeah.
Would you like to hear the skipper question?
I would, yes. I would like to try the skip question.
Who is Canada's first prime minister?
Canada's first prime minister? Wasn't it also a Trudeau? I thought it was... Oh, McDonald, wasn't it? God damn it. Why are you doing this? This sucks.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Like Travis McDonald or something?
You got the last name right, actually. It's John A. McDonald.
John A. McDonald. Okay.
You did pretty... I probably would have just given that to you for the last
With
name.
McDonald? Yeah,
Totally.
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's me having to go back on school knowledge here.
Pierre Elliott was a prime minister, which is our current prime minister's father.
Yeah.
So you got 3 out of 5, right?
Woo!
That's pretty good. Didn't have to use any. You only used the 50-50.
I used the 50-50, yeah.
Would you like to go?
Yeah, of course. How are you feeling after you heard me get 3 right and technically get that skip right?
That's pretty good.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling confident?
No,
No?
but that's okay.
All right. Well, hopefully they won't be too bad. I have warned you in advance because when I made these questions, I told you one of them, I'm not going to tell you which question it is when it comes up. I'll tell you after you've answered it.
Sure.
But one of these questions, when I made it, I didn't know the answer. I thought it was something different. And when I looked it up, it confused me. And I was really, really confused by it.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't think it would be this.
You thought like it was kind of like common knowledge that it was this one thing, but it ended up not being that?
Yeah, 100%. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. At McDonald's, you can order a Big Mac combo. How much is it in Canadian dollars? Is it A, $9.84? Is it B, $10.89? Is it C, $10.49? Or is it D, $11.89?
What was C again?
C is $10.49.
And B?
B is $10.89.
So 2 of them have 89 cents and 2 have 49?
So two have 89, one has 49, and one has 84.
Oh, shit. Which one has 84?
84 is A, $9.84. And this is for the combo. So this gives you fries and drinks.
It's got to be over 10. Like, currently it's this much?
That's how much it is currently, yes.
It's got to be over $10 by now.
So, do you want me to repeat them for you again real quick?
Sorry, yeah. What's B, C, and D?
B is $10.89. C is $10.49. And D is $11.89. And I'll just repeat A as well, is $9.84.
I wouldn't even know. Slightest clue. I'm going to say C.
C, $10.49? Is that your final answer? Do you want to use one of your, like, phone a friend or, like, a 50-50? Or, like, your skip?
Just let me think.
This could be the greatest fake out of all time. You might have guessed the right answer, but I'll...
Well, and that's I'm thinking it's C. I'm going to go with my gut.
Are you... Okay, I'm going to give you one last chance. Final chance. Are you locking in C, or are you going to use one of your things?
I'll lock it in. It's fine.
Okay. That is incorrect. The correct answer is A, $9.84.
Still under $10?
It's because it's on the value menu now.
What?
Yeah, that's what confused me. So this is the one I was talking about.
The Big Mac is on the value menu?
Yeah, it is.
Since when?
I don't know.
With the McDouble and the Junior cheeseburger?
When I looked it up, I was like, it's gonna be like 10 it's gonna be like $10.89.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I was wrong, and it was $9.84. And I'm like, excuse me?
I definitely thought it was at least in the $10 range.
See, I think that's just because if you upgrade the combo and you make it a large combo, then yeah, it's over that. But this is just the base.
Yeah.
This is just the base, right? So,
well, good to know.
yeah, I again, that was the one that's the one I said, like, I looked this up and I was wrong in the answer because you were also wrong. You thought the same thing I did.
I definitely thought
it's $10.
$10, yeah.
Because the nuggets are like $11 now.
Totally.
Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on that tangent.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. Are you ready for question 2?
Yes.
All right. In the Borderlands games, you play as Vault Hunters. Which of these characters is played in Borderlands the pre-sequel? Is it A, Claptrap? Is it B, Roland? Is it C, Atlas? Or is it D, Zero?
Like, who do you play as?
No, which of these characters is someone that is in, or like that you can play in pre-sequel? So they're like
so you
can
choose one of them.
Yeah. So like, you know how
I know Roland is the sniper, I believe. And he's got I think he's the
Remember, I'm talking about Borderlands pre-sequel.
Yes.
So that game, there are characters you can play in that game. Which one of the names that I gave is a character in that game that you can play as?
Oh my God. I don't know if I've played pre-sequel.
I haven't beat pre-sequel, but I've played some of it. It's all right. I don't think it's the greatest. It's not the worst. You're on the moon of Pandora for most of it.
Yeah, I've definitely not played that one. Claptrap. Could you play Claptrap? How would that even work? So Claptrap, Roland, Zero,
and Atlas. Those are the 4
I don't
names.
even know who Atlas is.
I will tell you who all of them are when you finish the question.
I'm going to go 50-50 on this one.
Okay. So the answers are either A, Claptrap, or C, Atlas.
I'm going to go with I'm going to go against my gut
Okay.
and say it's Claptrap.
You're going to go A, Claptrap?
I'm going to go Claptrap. It's against my gut. I don't think you'd be able to play Claptrap because it just seems weird. Okay. But I'm going to say Claptrap.
And that's your final answer?
Sure.
Okay. That is correct.
Yes.
It is Claptrap.
Went against my gut.
Yeah. So in Borderlands pre-sequel, you can play as Claptrap.
Right.
And he's very random. Like his ultimate is like he can do a ton of different things, and some of them like are hurtful to like your team and you, and some of them are really good against the enemy. Like it's really random.
It's like that deck of cards in D&D.
Yeah, the deck of many things.
The deck of many things. Yeah.
But that's Claptrap. Roland is actually the soldier from the first game.
Totally.
Atlas is the soldier from the second game.
I don't know Atlas.
And Zero is the assassin from the second game.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready for question 3?
Yes.
So far you are 1-0. So you got 1 point out of 2 questions. You're on your third. In Rick and Morty, we follow the adventures of, you guessed it, Rick and Morty. What dimension is Morty from? Is it A, C-137? Is it B, C-189? Is it C, D-189? Or is it D, C-136?
That's confusing.
Yeah, it's real. So just to make it a little bit easier, 137, 189, D189, or 136. That's how I'll say that right now, just to make it a little bit easier to read out.
So only one of them has a letter first?
No, they all have a letter first. So it's C137, C189, D189, or C136.
I'll just go for D.
You're going to go for D136?
C136.
Yeah, C136. That is incorrect. The answer is A, C137.
That was my other guess.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, thought it was going to be a C. Dang.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has had many adaptations over the years, but in the original Duel Monsters anime, who was the best friend character of Yugi Moto, the main character? Was it A, Seto Kaiba? Was it B, Tristan Taylor? Was it C, My Valentine? Or was it D, Joey Wheeler?
It's either Tristan or Joey.
Okay.
I think. Because I thought... What was A?
A is Seto Kaiba.
I thought Seto Kaiba was kind of like a role model more than he was a best friend.
I feel
Valentine.
I feel like someone would call Seto Kaiba a role model. He does run Kaiba Corp Industry.
Right. And one of Yugi's first tournaments is there, I think. My Valentine. I remember her being pretty hot. There's a poster.
Well,
you had a poster in your old house.
She had a unique way of dressing, is what we'll say.
It's either Tristan or Joey. I thought it was Joey.
I'm gonna so real quick. I will say that technically all of these characters are friends of Yugi Moto. Just one of them is considered to be the best friend character.
Yeah.
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 Because it's like I haven't tricked you with like a character that's not in Duel Monsters. These are all characters from Duel Monsters.
It's either Tristan or I'm pretty sure it's. I thought it. I'm just gonna go with. I remember, what's his name? Joey
Wheeler?
I thought I remember Joey Wheeler. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong dude. I'm thinking of some blonde dude in my head. Is that Joey Wheeler?
Yeah. That is Joey Wheeler, the blonde dude.
And Tristan had like short
He has like brown hair. It's like got like a spike.
It's either Tristan or Joey. I thought. Fuck, man. I'm going to go with Joey.
You're going to go with D, Joey Wheeler? Is that your final answer?
Yeah. It's either that or Tristan.
That is correct. Yes. It is Joey Wheeler. Yes. Joey Wheeler is Yugi Moto's best friend.
I remember seeing him a lot in the first show.
Yeah.
A lot. And then Tristan joins the group. And then,
Well, yeah, technically they were all always part of the group. Like Tristan is like part of the group with like Joey and Yugi, but Tristan is like a cheerleader and Joey is like, he actually plays the game and like learns and becomes a duelist and things like that. Seto Kaiba is Yugi's rival.
And he has the Red Eye Dragon.
No, that's Joey.
Dragon?
No, that's Joey. Joey has the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Seto Kaiba has the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
And that's where Yugi gets it.
No, Yugi doesn't get a Blue Eyes. Yugi has the Dark Magician.
What is he? What the hell? God, I can't remember.
Yugi gets Slifer the Sky Dragon, which is an Egyptian god card later, but but Seto Kaiba is his rival. And Joey and Yugi are best friends, and Joey is technically like the secondary protagonist. Same with Kaiba.
Yeah, I remember him. I knew it was not My Valentine.
My Valentine is a friend character that comes into the story.
Who was that? Not to get too off topic, but Joey Wheeler. For some reason, I thought I had like the Joey we're talking about in my head, but then I also had that weird graveyard deck guy.
Oh, Bones?
Yes, I had him in my head for some reason.
Because Bones duels Joey.
Okay.
And so Joey's in that episode.
I remember I had him in my head too. But let's go to the next question.
Okay.
I've got 2 out of 4 so far.
Because you got the Yu-Gi-Oh question right and the Borderlands question right. Yeah, so 2 out of 4.
Okay.
You're on your 5th question. I think this one is pretty easy. But again, who knows? You might not. In Star Wars, we meet many Jedi. Which one of these Jedi are not a Jedi Master? Is it A, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is it B, Kit Fisto? Is it C, Yoda? Or is it D, Anakin Skywalker?
A, Jedi Master?
Is not a Jedi Master. So this is someone that does not have the rank of Master. They're a Jedi Knight, but they are not a Master.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea who that Kit guy is.
Kit Fisto?
No
Look
idea.
him up. Look him up on your phone right now.
Well, I don't want it to pop up.
Oh, yeah, it'll tell you the answer. Well, I'll show him to you after. He's like a green alien with like tentacles.
I don't think Anakin is a Jedi Master because technically he was under Obi-Wan when he turned to the dark side.
Well, no. So real quick, just to put this out, in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. I'm just kidding, by the way. Everyone's favorite Star Wars movie.
Is that the one where they're all in like the gladiator arena?
Yeah.
And fighting?
Yeah. So in that movie, Anakin is a Padawan to Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan trains him.
That's right.
But then the Clone Wars starts, and in the Clone Wars, Anakin does get promoted to Jedi Knight. But does he get promoted to Jedi Master at any point before becoming Darth Vader is the question. That's what you're answering. Your answering is...
Yeah, I don't think he did before he went to the dark side.
You don't think so?
No. I don't know who Kit is.
Kit Fisto, again, he's a green alien dude. Do you remember in Episode 3 when Mace Windu goes into the Chancellor's office to confront him about being Darth Sidious, and Mace Windu's in there with some other Jedi? And there's that green guy. He's got a green lightsaber.
No.
And, like... He's in there. He's in that scene. I've
watched those movies once over. I've never really. I'm not.
I'll show him to you.
I'm just. I don't even know if Obi-Wan's a Jedi Master. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm assuming Yoda's probably a Jedi Master.
I mean, if I said his full title, you would 100% know. That's why he's just called Yoda. So. You would know the answer.
I'm gonna go Anakin Skywalker.
You're gonna go
only guess.
Your final answer?
I can phone a friend.
You could, yeah.
I can skip the. I'm gonna have to go Anakin.
Okay, that is correct. Anakin Skywalker did not achieve the rank of Master.
Yeah.
And he felt it was very unfair.
Yeah, he killed a bunch of fucking kids over it.
But so Obi-Wan Kenobi does technically become a Jedi Master because he sits on the council. Kit Fisto, if you look it up, it says that he's a Jedi Master and Jedi Master Yoda.
Yeah, I definitely thought Yoda was the Jedi Master.
So Anakin Skywalker was the non-master. Again, I thought that was a really easy question, but I mean, you got it.
Yeah. What was the skip question?
So the skip question, it's funny because you asked me a Nintendo question, and I'm asking you a Nintendo question on the skip.
Shit, we tied again today.
Did we 3-3?
3-3.
I got your skip question right, though, technically.
Yeah.
You said you would give it to me.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out if you get mine right, then...
I'm not going to get this right. There's no way.
I think you might. I think this is an easy skip question. So, Nintendo has created a lot of characters over the years. Who is their most known character?
Like all time?
All-time most known character.
It's gotta be Mario. It's gotta
be Mario or like
Mario
Link
or Link or Princess Peach.
Or Bowser. I think everyone knows.
Luigi's pretty big too because of the Luigi Mansion games.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong's freaking huge.
Donkey Kong is pretty big, yeah. So their most known character.
I feel like it's going to be something random. It's not even going to be Mario. It's going to be like... It's going to be like the freaking... what are those little things called that you jump on?
A Goomba?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be the Goomba.
The Goomba.
The most...
Considering you didn't know its name, I'm hoping it's not that.
I'm sure it's gotta be Mario. What are the first... Link is pretty big. Zelda. Princess Zelda's huge.
Princess Zelda is pretty big, yeah.
But
Link is pretty
Kong
big.
Keeps coming to me because those games sold like crazy.
Those games did sell very well.
It's gotta be Mario. I'm gonna go with Mario. I couldn't imagine it being anything else.
Okay, so is that your final answer, Mario? Yeah. That is correct. It is Mario.
It's gotta be.
It is Mario.
So I guess we're rock paper scissoring.
So we're tied. I thought we did coins, but I don't have a coin. But I do have a die that we could roll from one of my Dungeons and Dragons apps that I have.
We'll just look up a coin flip.
Okay. And then I guess you just flip it and then let me say heads or tails, and then if I get it right, I win. If I get it wrong, you win.
All right.
I think that's pretty good. Just tell me when I can make a guess.
Heads or tails?
Okay. I'm going to let the force flow through me. I'm going to let it penetrate me and guide me.
Oh, God.
I'm putting my visor down. I'm turning off my targeting computer.
Okay.
Someone's asking me what's wrong, and I'm going to say it's tails.
That is incorrect. It is heads.
Dang it! I went against my gut where I was going to say heads.
Well, I am the trivia stud today.
The trivia stud.
So as of right now, I have won 2 trivia games. You have won 1.
Yes. So you are right now winning in the trivia.
Awesome. So next week, we're going to have another episode. We're going to try to record again here. I apologize again for the wait on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot for listening, guys.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. This is thank you for wasting an hour of your life. This is an hour you'll never get back.
See ya.